Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now let's talk about Mexican monster here, David Benavidez. David Benavidez, y'all, this is a Mexican legend, in my opinion. And I'm just gonna say, I know it's a little bit early to be calling people legends in his career, right? But I'm gonna call him a legend because he's surrounded by others that don't do anything remotely like he does or like he's attempting to do. I'm calling him a legend before the David Morrell fight because maybe we won't be calling him that after that. But here's the deal. David Benavidez is fighting David Morrell, okay? And that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me, and it should be good enough for you. We're getting this fight. Now, I know if you don't have any insight or backstory to David Benavidez versus David Morrell, you just think it's a normal fight. But I'm just going to say this. Canelo has never had a David Morrell fight in his whole career. A David Morrell fight. Especially one, the closest one to it was Gennady Golovkin. But remember, he was dragged into that fight. Didn't want to do it, threw away his WBC belt because they forced him into fighting him. They were, and then he didn't want to fight him at all. He was dragged into that. Canelo Alvarez has never, ever actively went after a great fighter. All his top fights, they were forced upon him. And Floyd Mayweather doesn't count because Floyd Mayweather was extremely smaller than him and for a lot of money, right? The Lara fight was dragged into it. Even the Austin Trout fight was a prerequisite for getting the Floyd Mayweather fight. He wasn't trying to fight no damn Austin Trout. And then they went to San Antonio and had open scoring to do that, which I'm still pissed off about to today because open scoring wasn't fair in that fight. Nobody. Canelo has been in the divisions with both the Charlos, Demetrius Andrade, and the as aforementioned David Morrell and David Benavidez. Didn't want to fight none of them, ever. Never going actively for any of these fights. If you talk about people Canelo actively went for, then you would have to talk about the Macabus he wanted to fight at cruiserweight, Macabu. He wanted to fight Admiral Yildirim. He wanted to fight Munguia. He wanted to fight Berlanga. Those are people that he picks out to fight. He wanted to fight Amir Khan, right? You never say, hey, man, that damn Demetrius Andrade got a belt. I want to get him. Damn, my mandatory done had 3 interim fights, and he's supposed to be bad, got a twin brother. I'm going to beat this Jamal Charlo up. Damn, I'm going to beat somebody. Awesome. Anybody. Come with it. Come with the information and tell me. Now, David Benavidez, on the other hand, has been at 168 pounds wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds, and because Canelo Alvarez had the belts. It's not about just Canelo Alvarez and people saying you want a payday and this and that. They only say you want a payday to people who are good, but the ones that are not good get these paydays. You understand? The ones that are good, all of a sudden they want a payday. But we're giving paydays, you know, I mean, what's up with that? We're giving paydays to people who are not worthy. So, your boy, our boy David Benavidez, you know who I'm talking about here. He wanted to fight Canelo so he can get the belt. Although he was actually the champion, was stripped for several reasons. One, missing weight during COVID, and another, cocaine, which was his fault as a young 21-year-old man. He made that mistake. But now he's dressed right, dressed straight up, handling his business. Canelo didn't never want to fight him, even though he was Canelo's mandatory. The same as David Morrell, his mandatory as a WBA regular champion. So, what does Benavidez do? He goes up to 175 and fights hard guys. Man, the guy he fought, Alexander, I forget his name, the Ukraine Bring the Pain dude. That's a bad dude. He was the third best or the second best at the time with Benavidez, Bivol, and this guy. I forget his name right now, but he's Ukrainian. Now he goes up there and fights this guy, beats him pretty much all the rounds, and was said it didn't even look good. But everybody can't beat that guy. Alexander, Damn, I can't think of his name right now. It's really pissing me off. Ukraine bring the pain. Anyway, so he wins that fight. They say he doesn't look good. But now, David Morrell and David Benavidez have to fight at a higher weight division because Canelo wouldn't fight either one of them. Benavidez is at least taking the Morrell fight, even though it's not for a championship fight, even though we know that this fight is worthy of an undisputed fight at 168 pounds, which it would have been if the sanctioned bodies would have stripped Canelo like they should have. It should be illegal to do what they've done with Canelo. It should be illegal. You should be, if you don't want to fight either one of your mandatories for over 2 years, then you know something, Canelo, you're famous. Get out of here. Let these guys fight for undisputed, and you can just don't have a belt, and people are going to still follow you. You know, you got people that like you. It doesn't matter that you're not that you're avoiding fighters. They know it, but they just want to love you because of whatever reasons it is. But we've got boxing to do here. The show fights and all of that stuff, you can still do your thing. But they wouldn't even do that, which shows there's a lack of integrity there, and it patronizes me to even talk about the guy. But so we'll just move on from him. Dave Benavidez has said, this is what he's trying to do. First of all, I would have took Canelo. I would have took Morrell at 168 also if we could have fought for undisputed. I beat up Demetrius Andrade, who Canelo didn't want to fight for years. Canelo's most scared of Demetrius Andrade. I beat him up. Now I'm going to 175. If I get past Morrell, I want to fight Benavidez versus Bivol winner. Let alone the loser. Canelo won't even fight the loser. Canelo won't fight Bivol again. I want to fight them. If I could do that, then I'm going to go up here to fight Ramirez, which is still one of the guys Canelo, when Canelo said 2 or 3 years ago that he don't want to fight Mexicans, he meant I ain't fighting Gilberto Ramirez or David Benavidez. That was the translation I told you then. But Benavidez will. And if he can do that, he's thinking in a few years, you know what? I would even fight Alexander Usyk at cruiserweight. Now, when Canelo mentioned the cruiserweight, what cruiserweight did Canelo mention? Do you guys remember? Makabu. Didn't mention Maurice Brightis, all those guys we say they're unknown up there because Usyk beat him. He wouldn't mention Maurice Brightis. He wouldn't mention Dorticus. He wouldn't mention Gassiev, right? He wants Makabu. That's your boy. So when I say that your boy, the Mexican Monster, is a legend, that's what I'm talking about. Legends don't have to be undefeated. Legends just have to want to fight hard fights and come out most of the time on top. Then you become a legend. It's a little bit easier now because you're surrounded by people who are not trying to be those. That's why. The Mexican Monster, baby. Mexicans, y'all better recognize. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm about to here, y'all.